An injective, one-to-one function ensures that each element from the domain is mapped to a distinct element in the codomain. This means no two inputs from the domain can share the same output in the codomain. In a mapping diagram, this is reflected by ensuring that every arrow from different domain elements points to unique codomain elements, preventing any overlap or duplication in the output values. A university assigns matriculation numbers to students. Each student receives one unique matric number, and no two students share the same number. However, some matric numbers may remain unused. Which of the following best describes this situation in terms of an injective function?
Please hold on, let me explain something at this point. An injective function ensures that no two inputs, let me say it again, that no two inputs for students map to the same output, which is the matric number. That is one thing we should notice from this particular question. Even if some matric numbers are not used, for instance, they are not given to any students, we can refer to that one as a kind of extra codomain values. But the mapping is still injective as long as each student has a unique matric number. So which of the following option is the correct one? A, B, C, D, or E? Pick the correct option. Thank you.
A surjective onto function guarantees that every element in the codomain is mapped by some element from the domain. In other words, the function's range covers the entire codomain. In a mapping diagram, this means that each element in the codomain has at least one arrow pointing to it from the domain. However, some domain elements may map to the same codomain element, as long as all codomain elements are covered. A library has 4 reading rooms: quiet room, study hall, group room, and digital lab. Each visitor checks in and is assigned to exactly one reading room. At the end of the day, the log shows that each room had at least one visitor. Which of the following best describes the function from visitors domain to reading rooms codomain?
My dear students, look at something. In the reading rooms, in the library, there are 4 rooms, okay? And if you look at the question very well, the question says that which of the following best describes the function from visitors, which is domain, to the reading rooms, which is codomain? One thing we should pay attention to is the fact that the function is surjective because every element in the codomain, what is that? The reading rooms, has at least one visitor that mapped to it from the domain. Unequal numbers or repeated assignments don't affect the subjectivity here, only that no room is left out. And if you remember the definition of surjective, we could see that it's now easier for us to know the correct option. Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Is it D? Or is it E? But the point is that which of the options best describe the function from visitors, which is the domain, to reading rooms, which is the codomain? Thank you.
A bijective function combines the properties of being injective, one-to-one, and surjective, onto. This means each element in the domain maps to a unique element in the codomain, and every element in the codomain has at least one element from the domain mapping to it. In a mapping diagram, this is shown by ensuring every codomain element has one arrow pointing to it, and no output is repeated. A teacher assigns one unique project topic to each of her 25 students, and she ensures that each of the 25 project topics is used and no topic is repeated. Which of the following best describes this assignment in terms of a bijective function from students, domain, to project topics, codomain?
If you look at this question very well, you notice that it's even very simple because the question says, which of the following best describes this assignment in terms of a bijective function? From students, which is the domain, to the project topics, which is the codomain. And remember, whenever we are talking about bijective, it must be injective and surjective, right? So the function in this case now is bijective because it talks about no students share the same topic and every topic is assigned to some students. So what is the correct option? I don't need to say more than that. But if you look at it very well, the most important thing is that each input maps to a unique output and every output is used. So pick the correct option. Thank you.
An identity function is a special type of function where each element in the domain maps to itself in the codomain. Mathematically, it is represented as f of x equals x. In a mapping diagram, each arrow points from a domain element to the same element in the codomain, ensuring no change. For example, if A is in the domain, the arrow points from A in the codomain. A student is given a list of their own homework assignments for the week, where each assignment is listed exactly as it appears in the student's schedule. The function f assignment simply returns the same assignment without making any changes. Which of the following best describes the function f in terms of an identity function?
So let's take a look at the question here, which says that which of the following best describes the function f in terms of an identity function. But one thing about identity is that if you pick one from the domain, what you get in the codomain is 1. If you pick 5 in the domain, what you get in the codomain is what is 5. So we can refer to this one as an identity function that maps each element to itself. In this case, the assignments are not modified and they are mapped to themselves directly, making the function an identity function. So which of them is the correct option? Thank you. See you in the next video. Bye.